Most cloud engineers are making between $80,000 and $120,000 and wondering why the ceiling feels so low. They have the certifications, they have the experience, they're doing real work in real environments. But the $160,000, $180,000, $200,000 roles feel like they belong to a different category of engineer. Someone with a different background, a different network, a different opportunity that never seems to appear. Here's what I want to tell you directly. The gap between $80,000 and $200,000 in cloud engineering is not a technical gap. It's a positioning gap. I've coached hundreds of IT professionals into six-figure cloud roles. Engineers coming from help desk, from networking, from backgrounds that had nothing to do with cloud. I hold professional architect certifications across AWS, Azure, and GCP. And after watching what actually separates the engineers who break through from the engineers who plateau, it comes down to 5 specific moves. Let's get into them. Move 1, start small to learn fast. Most engineers in their early cloud career make the same mistake. They target the largest company they can find because they assume big company equals big learning. It's the opposite. Large enterprises are compartmentalized by design. You have a cloud networking team, a security team, a DevOps team, a platform team. Each one owns a narrow slice of the stack. You might spend 2 years at a Fortune 500 company touching only one service category in one cloud environment for one team. A smaller company, a managed service provider, a cloud consultancy, a growing tech company that has not yet siloed its engineering teams, gives you something a large enterprise cannot: breadth. When you support multiple clients or operate as the cloud engineering team rather than a member of a cloud engineering team, you're focused to touch everything. Networking, identity, security, cost management, automation, migrations, compliance, all of it lands on you. 12 to 18 months in that environment builds the kind of cross-domain fluency that takes 5 years to accumulate inside a compartmentalized enterprise. If you are in your early cloud career and you have an offer from a large enterprise and an offer from a smaller company where you would own more of the stack, take the smaller company. The salary might be lower now. The resume line might sound less impressive, but the depth and breadth of what you'll learn is what makes every future role possible. Move 2, reframe the low salary as the cost of an accelerated education. This is a mindset move, but it's one of the most practically important ones. The frustration that kills early cloud careers is the gap between how much you're working and how much you're being paid. You're learning constantly. You're solving hard problems. You're building real skills. And the paycheck doesn't reflect any of it. Here is the reframe that changes how you experience that period. You're not underpaid for the work you're doing. You're being paid to learn. The salary is covering your living expenses while you build the knowledge that'll compound into significantly higher earnings in the rest of your career. Every cloud domain you touch at that stage, every incident you resolve, every architecture you design, every service you learn under real conditions is an asset that does not depreciate. The engineer who went deep during that period and treated every problem as a learning opportunity is in a completely different position 2 years later than the engineer who grounded through the same work resentfully, waiting for a raise. If you're currently in that stage, early career, low salary, high workload, wake up every day knowing you are getting paid to build something that nobody can take from you. That shift changes how you show up, and how you show up changes what you can get access to next. Move 3, make your employer pay for your certifications. Most engineers treat certification costs as a personal expense. They shouldn't. Every mid-size and enterprise organization has a professional development budget. A significant portion of it goes unused every year. Your certification is not a personal investment you're asking your employer to fund. It's a business investment you're proposing on their behalf. Frame it that way. Here's the conversation that works. We have a compliance review coming up, and I want to make sure I have the depth to help the team navigate it correctly. The AZ500 specifically covers the security controls we're going to be evaluated on. I'll study it on my own time. I just need the exam fee covered. It's $165, and I'll pass it within the next 6 weeks. That conversation connects the certification to a specific business outcome. It removes the development budget ask entirely. It makes the manager's decision easy. If you're negotiating a new offer, Ask for an annual training budget in the salary negotiation. $2,000 to $3,000 a year is standard. Once you're hired, getting it added is significantly harder. You're giving your employer something they can never give back, your time. The least they can do is fund the credentials that make you more valuable to them. Move 4. Specialize in something that has measurable financial impact. This is the move that creates the largest salary jump, and it is the move most engineers delay the longest because specialization feels like narrowing when it's actually the opposite. Generalist cloud engineers are hired at generalist rates. The engineers commanding $160,000, $180,000, $200,000 are specialists, and specifically specialists in areas where the cost of failure is measurable in millions of dollars. Think about what that means practically. A company that operates in a regulated industry, healthcare, finance, government contracting, faces specific compliance requirements that carry specific financial penalties for non-compliance. FedRAMP authorization, HIPAA controls in cloud environments, PCI DSS compliance, CMMC certification for defense contractors. An engineer who understands how to architect Azure or AWS environments that satisfy these frameworks, who can lead an organization through an assessment, identify the gaps, implement the controls, and document the evidence, is not just a cloud engineer. They are living insurance against a financial risk the organization can't afford. Companies don't pay living insurance at generalist rates. Cloud security is the other high impact specialization. The average cost of a data breach is approaching $5 million. Organizations are deploying AI workloads into production without any security architecture. The demand for engineers who can secure identity, network data, and AI infrastructure in Azure and AWS environments far exceeds the supply. Pick a specialization that has measurable financial impact to the organization you want to work for. Build genuine depth in it. Make it the thing you're known for. Here's how to identify the right specialization. Look at the industries where Azure and AWS are growing fastest. Government and defense, financial services. Look at the regulatory frameworks that govern those industries. FedRAMP for federal cloud environments, HIPAA for healthcare data, PCI DSS for payment processing, CMMC for defense contractors. Now ask which of those frameworks aligns with both your existing background and the direction you want your career to go. If you have any background in healthcare, finance, government, or defense, you have domain context that pure cloud engineers lack. Combine that domain context with deep Azure or AWS cloud expertise, and you're not just a cloud engineer anymore. You're the cloud engineer who understands how cloud infrastructure satisfies the specific compliance requirements that keep executives up at night. That combination commands a completely different compensation conversation. That's the move that breaks through the ceiling. Move 5. Build visibility in the specific community you are targeting. The $200,000 roles are rarely filled through job postings. They're filled through reputation, through someone who was in a room, heard your name, found your work online, or sat across from you at a conference and decided you were exactly who they needed. Most engineers are invisible until they apply. The engineers at the top of the market are visible before they apply. Here's what visibility looks like in practice. Build real projects and document them publicly. Every architecture decision, every trade-off, every problem you hit and how you solved it, not just the final result, the reasoning behind it. A GitHub repository with a well-written README that explains the business problem, the architecture, and the decisions tells a hiring manager more about how you think than a resume ever will. Write about what you're building on LinkedIn, not polished thought leadership posts. Specific technical observations connected to real problems you're working through. The engineers who did this consistently become findable before they apply. Recruiters reach out to them. Opportunities come inbound. Your LinkedIn headline is the first thing a recruiter sees when they search your specialty. Azure Cloud Engineer is a headline that describes what you do. Azure Cloud Security Engineer, FedRAMP, CMMC, Zero Trust Architecture, is a headline that tells a recruiter exactly which problem you solve and whether you are who they are looking for. The specificity of your positioning determines the quality of inbound you receive. And then there are conferences, not general technology conferences where 15,000 people are learning about the same broad topics. Niche conferences in the specific specialization you're building. If your specialization is cloud security conferences, not general cloud conferences. If you're building compliance expertise, the specific compliance framework communities, not general IT events. The reason specificity matters here is the same reason specialization matters in your career. At a general conference, you're one of thousands. Networking is diluted. The conversations are surface level. At a niche conference with 200 or 300 people who specialize in exactly what you specialize in, every conference has depth. Every connection is relevant. Every room you're in contains people who could refer you to the exact type of role you're building toward. The $200,000 offer that comes from someone who heard of your work at a conference doesn't happen at an AWS reInvent. It happens in a smaller room full of specific people who care about the exact problem you've been known for solving. Here's the honest summary. 5 moves. Start small to get broad exposure fast. Reframe that early salary as the cost of an education. Make your employer pay for your certifications. Specialize in something with measurable financial impact. Build visibility in the specific community you are targeting. None of these moves require a degree. None of them require you to start over. None of them require anything you can't start this week. What they require is the willingness to treat your career like a business, to think strategically about where you're investing your time, what you're becoming known for, and who is watching you build. The engineers at $200,000 a year are not smarter than you. They're not luckier than you. They made these moves earlier, and the compounding started sooner. The second best time to start is right now. I've linked some resources in the description to help you map out the right specialization based on where you are right now. If you want to work through these moves alongside engineers who are already making them, the link in the description will take you to our free community. As always, see you in the next one.